Everyone says they want to change their life, but what most people really mean is that they want different results without different actions and without changing the things that cause those results. They want new outcomes built on the same old patterns, but life doesn't work that way, does it? You don't change your life by wishing for it or waiting for the right moment. You change it by learning how the world really works. Because whether you notice or not, those laws are already running your life. I'm Sven Emmrich, author of Master Your Lifescript, this beautiful book. And in this video, I'll show you 3 natural laws that explain every real transformation and how you can use them to actually do change your life. So let's start with the first one, the law of how reality really works. Most people live as if the world were personal, as if success and failure were rewards or punishments handed out just simply by fate. And that idea is comforting, because if the world is unfair, then it's not your fault. But that's not how reality works. The world doesn't have moods, it has mechanics. Gravity doesn't care who you are. If you throw a ball, it falls somewhere. If you touch fire, it burns. Those are laws, not opinions. And your life follows the same kind of principles. When you break them, you get pain, not because the world hates you, but because you misunderstood the equation. People often fight these laws. They say things like, I should already be further along. But change doesn't happen because you deserve it. It happens because you're aligned with how things actually work. That's the first real step to change. Stop arguing with the laws, start learning how they operate. Once you stop fighting gravity, for example, you can finally learn how it works and start to fly. Now, the second law is about force. The kind that actually moves you. Every action you take runs through 2 invisible questions. First, if I do this, will this actually work? And secondly, can I do this successfully? If either answer is no, you will not act, even if the reward looks great. And that's not laziness, that's low expectancy. It's your mind doing the math and deciding the effort is not worth the odds. Here's where physics meets psychology. When you apply force to a stone, gravity pulls it to the earth with absolute reliability. When you apply willpower, your human form of force, the direction and strength depend on your expectations. Your willpower works like a vector. It moves where your beliefs point it. Those beliefs are threefold. So first, what you believe you can do. Then secondly, what you believe works. And third, whether the result is actually worth it to you. If all 3 line up, your willpower turns into forward motion. But if one part of you believes and another doubts, then maybe a third actually doesn't really care, then your energy just splits and some parts of you pull ahead, some hold you back, and the rest just burns up as frustration. That's what people feel when they say they're stuck. They're not out of energy, they're just misaligned. So the goal isn't more motivation, it's less friction. It's aligning those inner forces so the energy you already have turns into progress instead of exhaustion. Because your expectations act like your internal gravity. Once they're calibrated, everything starts falling into place naturally. Now, the third law explains how to turn that force into change. Newton's second law says acceleration equals the force divided by mass. Translated into life, that means progress equals willpower divided by the resistance. Your results depend not on how hard you push, but on how much weight you're carrying, both inside and outside. Here's where most people misunderstand willpower. They think it's a feeling, a rush of motivation, but it's not. Willpower is just how humans apply force. It's the bridge between belief and behavior. If your expectations are strong, you can push through resistance. If they're weak, even small obstacles will stop you. And if your force points in two directions, one forward toward the goal and change, and one backward towards safety, you'll feel tension of both. That's what frustration really is. Energy working against itself. You're trying, but part of you is still holding the brakes. Once you understand that, you can finally use structure instead of emotion. That's where the goal pyramid comes in. Most people try to change life from the top down. They start with identity. They say like, I'm going to be a new person. They make declarations, they write mantras, they post quotes, and a week later, they're back where they started. Because identity doesn't change through statements, it changes through structure. So here's the real order. The first is learning, then behavior, outcome, and identity. First, you learn the skill you don't yet have. Then you use it repeatedly until you create new outcomes. And those new outcomes reinforce a new identity. And that identity sticks because it's real, not imagined. That's how you rewrite your life script. Every new behavior is a line. Every result is a paragraph. Over time, your story changes because you learned how the world works and you acted in line with it. This process isn't instant. It's iterative. It's how force becomes momentum and momentum becomes character. You don't fake it till you make it. You learn it and apply it until you become it. Because learning doesn't just add knowledge, it removes friction. It makes reality predictable again. And that's what confidence really is. The quiet that comes from evidence. So how do you actually change your life? You stop asking life to bend for you, and you learn the laws it already runs on. You build willpower, not from hype, but from alignment. You use your expectations to direct your focus where it counts. You reduce resistance, not by avoiding discomfort, but by understanding it. And you climb the pyramid from the bottom up. Learn, act, adapt, and then repeat. Changing your life isn't mystical, it's mechanical. Every time you learn, you reduce resistance. Every time you act, you apply a force. And every time you observe reality honestly, you accelerate toward who you want to become. That's how you win. Not by hoping, but by working with the laws that make winning possible. If you want to go deeper into this framework, join the waitlist for my book, Master Your Lifescript. You'll find the link in the description. And if this video helped you see reality a little clearer, subscribe, because the next one will take you one step further into how you win. See you next time.